Hello everyone and welcome back to Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc Blind. In the last one, we started the investigation into Sakura's murder, and we've turned up a bit of a mess, to be honest. In this one, I'm hoping that we get to finish the investigation, and we get up to the trial. I don't like to start trials in episodes like this, but I mean, if this episode's only going to be like 15 minutes long otherwise, I guess we'll have to start the trial. Anyway, I've already forgotten what it was that Kyoko told me to look at, so Sakura's body, the shelf of magazines, and the Monokuma bottles. Well, I guess we're doing it in that order then. According to Kyoko, there's still something to be discovered from Sakura's body. Just staring off into space isn't going to help you figure anything out. Well, yeah, I know, but don't you think you need to actually examine the body? I mean, she's right, Makoto. She's found something twice, well, 3 times if you count Taka and Hifumi as separate things, by just looking a little closer, you know? There's no getting around it. Unlike me, Kyoko didn't recoil at the thought of touching a dead body. She was completely unemotional. It's the kind of thing I've grown perversely used to. Though there are still some times... I can't believe how calm you are. No matter how many times I see a dead body, I can't get used to it. That's totally normal. Then, how can you... I imagine it's because I've had plenty of opportunities to touch dead bodies in the past. What? Sorry, never mind. More importantly, look here. Her shoes? You see that yellow powder on her instep? Yeah, it really stands out.
I see.
That powder is clue number 1.
Hey.
Next to the wound to her head. Look carefully.
It's true.
Actually, even telling you that, it's incredibly difficult to spot. So let me just explain. It would appear that she didn't suffer a single blow. Instead received 2 blows to the head. 2 blows?
Indeed.
Interesting, wouldn't you say? And there's one more interesting thing.
Correct.
Both of her hands were spotless. There's absolutely no trace of blood on either one.
It's true.
So, that's what I learned from examining her body in detail. Okay. I can't believe she was able to learn all that just by looking at her body. I don't think anyone but Kyoko could have pulled that off. Okay. Here we go. That's been pretty revealing, actually. 2 blows to the back of her head. Which would explain 2 missing Monokuma bottles. Because we found the knight. We didn't find the queen, though. Which... I don't know. Maybe that bottle didn't shatter? But yeah, that seems to imply that both Hiro and Toko attacked Sakura. Considering that, as is, they're the only 2 people who really seem like they would have been in here. Especially based on Hiro's testimony, and what we saw when we were going to move Alter Ego. Yeah, it seems like the only... they both hit Sakura over the head. Which, in a weird way, kind of clears both of them of the crime, in a weird way. Which really, yeah, whoever poisoned Sakura definitely killed Sakura. And the thing that stands out most to me is the powder on her instep. It wasn't on the soles of her shoes, it was on the instep. She clearly did not, or she clearly was not the one who walked up to grab the protein or whatever. Or, according to my theory, put the poison on the shelf to make a red herring. Which would seem to mean... Hang on, let me just... Oh. Would seem to mean that Sakura was the one who spilt the poison in the first place. And considering where the poison bottle was dropped, I can't really imagine she was going anywhere else but looking for poison. Oh, just gotta chill. I'm thinking that we've now just come across a new possibility that I hadn't really thought about up until now. Because it's technically possible, I think, that Sakura killed herself. Ooh, saying that out loud did not feel good. Because that would explain the locked room. She made the locked room. It would certainly explain poison. She just poisoned herself. Well, I suppose like how she was poisoned, not that she was poisoned. She just drank it herself. The problem then comes with... Well, I suppose there are a lot of problems actually. Her head wounds. She seemed to have been attacked, but that just didn't kill her. That couldn't have been what killed her. You've got to be able to hear that. That is insanely loud. Oh, fuck. You made me forget where I am, person outside. Yeah. Fuck, what was I saying? The bottles. Yeah. So she was clearly hit by those, but that also clearly didn't kill her. It's this stuff with the bottle that was put on top of the glass. And the footprints by Section A. Like... So my thought was that maybe... It seems like it was probably Hina who left the footprints. So, going with what I said about the bottle... It's far-fetched, but maybe Hina already knew. No, that doesn't make any sense, though. Because then if she's doing this, she's effectively covering it up, which would just... You know... turn us away from the truth, so... Oh, fuck me. Okay. So there's literally, in my mind, two possibilities here. Sakura killed herself, or Hina killed Sakura. I'm leaning a little more towards Sakura killing herself, but with this whole stuff with the bottle and the cabinets... That it makes a pretty good case for Hina getting involved. I mean, I suppose it could be a collaborative effort. Which then, ultimately, we've got an impossible question to ask. Of if Sakura and Hina worked together to do this... Why, like... How do we know who poisoned Sakura? Because, you know... I guess then it's also like a question of... If Sakura knowingly drank poison... Does it matter who gave it to her? Or does that automatically mean that Sakura killed herself? You know? Like if Hina, you know... put some, or just gave her poison and was like, go on, this is part of the plan, drink it. And then Sakura drinks it. does that mean that... I don't know. I don't know. This case suddenly seems really difficult to figure out. Like, I've got my two primary suspects, and I cannot tell who did it. If this was a suicide or a murder. Kyoko said the magazine shelf was hiding a clue of some kind. Clue. Huh. Oh, it's a demon angel. Pretty. Actually, is that? Hold on. This is gonna be really uncomfortable, but. Something, ladies. Miss Muscle appears. Cosplay king. And then something else that I can't read in blue. You're... something to the... something. Okay, whatever. Huh, this magazine is upside down. Someone put it back that way on accident?
Hey.
If something catches your eye, it's important for you to explore that in detail, don't you think? Don't you think? Yeah, you're right. Picked up the inverted magazine and flipped through it. This is... well... this late in the game, Toko has just entirely been cleared of suspicion. On one of the pages near the centre of the magazine, a word had been written in bold, bloody letters. And it said, Toko. Could this be a dying message?
Correct.
Then it would appear you found it. Kyoko, is this?
So...
It is indeed a dying message. Someone used their finger to write it. And you clearly told us that there was no blood on Sakura's hands, which means Sakura didn't write it. So... who did? I guess? I mean, basically this just proves that Toko didn't do it, I think, is what we're getting at. But then it's a question of who did write it. Dying message.
However...
But just to be clear, I'm not the one who put it back upside down. It was already like that when I found it a little while ago. Make sure to put it back exactly as I found it, for the benefit of others who might come looking. Hey, is that? That says Toko, right? Yeah, looks like it. And she's the killer, right? Well, that hasn't been confirmed yet. It's settled. She's the killer for sure. She's also been very pushy about who the killer is. It doesn't look good on you, Hina. It doesn't look good on you. That's conclusive evidence, right? We can use it to corner the killer. I can see why you would think that, but it just seems too easy. If anything, it makes me that much more suspicious. Same, I guess. And the bottles. I think Kyoko said she'd found a new clue involving the Monokuma bottles. Something new. Something new.
Hey.
So, did you figure it out? There's a hidden correlation between all the bottles. Pay careful attention and you're sure to find it. A correlation? What, are you talking about the chess pieces? Yeah, like, that's the only thing about them that's, like, different. Hey, Kyoko, can't you just tell me what it is?
So...
I don't mind guiding you towards clues, but giving you my conclusion isn't a good idea. Each person needs to come to their own conclusions, so that everyone can have confidence in the outcome. And it's not just because you don't trust me, right? No answer! I do trust you to a degree. Otherwise I wouldn't have told you anything to begin with. And she wouldn't have relied, like I said, she wouldn't have relied on us to go and collect all the information for her. Only to a degree. Well, she can't, like, completely trust you, you know? She's got to be indifferent, you know? As I said, pretty sure she's a detective or like an investigator. She has to remain completely impartial to everyone. She cannot have biases. Monokuma bottle's been updated in the truth bullets. Actually, there's one other thing about the Monokuma bottles that's bothering me. Oh. I'd like to do an experiment to confirm it. You don't mind helping me, right? An experiment?
Anyway.
Can you gather up all the pieces of the broken Monokuma bottle? Try to get the smaller pieces too. Huh? You're saying it's okay to mess with the crime scene like that?
That doesn't matter.
I've already done a thorough investigation, so it's fine. That obnoxious... that obnoxious Byakuya is not here, so...
So then...
Oh, kill him. Anyway, I need to get something from the chem lab. While I'm gone, try to gather up all the glass. With that, Kyoko left the room. And I really don't know what this is about, but what choice do I have? I'd better just do it. I took the broom and dustpan and got to work collecting all the broken bottle pieces. And just as I finished up... Sorry to keep you waiting.
So then...
Is everything ready? Then let's get to work. Oh man, that smug smile. Oh, such a good smile. I love it. So, what kind of experiment are we doing?
In other words...
I've got a scale from the chem lab. I'm going to use it to compare weights. Compare the weights of what? The pieces of glass you collected in one of the Monokuma bottles that's still intact. Why do you want to do that? That's the point of the experiment. It'll make sense when we're done.
Listen.
First, let's compare the weight of 2 of the normal Monokuma bottles. It's balanced,
In other words...
which means each Monokuma bottle weighs about the same. Which makes sense. The Monokuma figures are basically the same, and nothing else could really affect the weight.
So then...
Now, here comes the important part. Put all the pieces you picked up on one side of the scale. Now, what might you expect to see? Well, a normal assumption would be either they'll balance out or the pieces I collected will be lighter. I did my best to get them all, but there's a chance I could have missed some here and there. Okay, let's give it a try. Huh? Which certainly adds to the theory, well not theory, it's pretty much fact. Sakura was hit twice. But instead of what I said about maybe the bottle not breaking, turns out whoever just hit the second time, or maybe the first time, just well no, it only makes sense to really be the second time, picked up the queen. Oh no, I guess it could be the first time, they just left some pieces behind. They collected up the pieces, or like most of the pieces, like at the very least like the ends of the bottle. Picked up the queen, got rid of them somewhere. I don't know, the incinerator maybe. But yeah. Oh. Broken pieces are heavier? How is that possible?
I knew it.
Just as I thought. What?
In other words...
The results of our experiment and the correlation between each of the bottles. Put it all together.
Hey.
And I believe you will arrive at one very persuasive conclusion. So, what do you think? It's all on you. Delayed noise. Oh, Jesus. It really is that quick? Okay. Alright! 20 minutes in, I'll look over the evidence, we'll get into that trial room.
Oops, you caught me sleeping. Your investigation was just so boring I couldn't stay awake.
Yeah, thanks.
Should I do it? Is it okay? Can I? Okay, then let's begin the class trial. You know where to meet, right? Please go through the red door on the first floor of the school. See you soon.
It's already time. But the mystery of the locked room is still only half solved. At this point, whatever happens will have to happen at the class trial. No. Not whatever happens. I have to make something happen. Okay. Well, before we've got 20 minutes, I think we'll go with the truth bullets. Oh Jesus, 21 bullets. Okay, Monokuma file. So basically, what this does for us pretty much proves that Sakura was killed by poison. Well, it doesn't, but it certainly gave that hint. And the time of death plus the clock pretty much narrows it down to, well, everyone but me and Kyoko. Okay, the rec room door. Chair had been jammed against the door within the rec room, blocking access. It is believed the killer did this to create a locked room scenario. Okay, I don't really know. The only way I can answer this is with either Sakura killing herself or Sakura and Hina working together. Regardless, we haven't found another way to get out of the rec room, and apparently nothing kooky happened with this door or the chair, so it seems like Sakura made this herself. Status of Sakura's body. Sakura was found dead, seated in a chair, slumping forward. Traces of blood were found around her mouth, presumably when she vomited from blood. However, there was no injury or indication as to why she would have vomited blood. Okay, poison. A bloodstain was found in front of the shelf of magazines. The blood is presumed to be Sakura's. There is currently no explanation for how a bloodstain would have appeared so far away from where the victim was found. Yeah, okay. So, maybe she was hit over here then? Instead of like she... okay, because I thought maybe she vomited blood and then went to sit down and died. Maybe instead she would... No, that doesn't make sense. Because the pieces of the bottle were over by the chair. So no, I guess this is just blood she vomited. Nice and simple. At one point, Ao had been injured and taken to the nurse's office. After she was taken care of, she gave a piece of candy to Sakura, which had this type of wrapper. According to Ao, she had monopolized the candy as soon as it became available. Okay, this just links Hiro to the crime. I know initially I said maybe this was going to be... Or like the can would be like maybe she was poisoned in a different way. Well, I guess... Oh, no, because that would be like... Maybe we might come up with this. I was about to say something, but it's like, well, maybe Hina poisoned the candy. But then it's like, well, I mean, she just offered them to Sakura. What was the chance Sakura was just going to take a specific one? Which, I mean, isn't necessarily... Well, no, because Sakura clearly had multiple because she gave one to Hiro, because Hiro had one. And Hina clearly doesn't poison them all because Hiro isn't dead. Boom. Okay, there we go. So, based on what I've just said, that sort of like clears Hina of suspicion in a weird way, but yeah. There were pieces of red glass scattered near the table in the rec room. After finding the top and bottoms, it was concluded that the shards must have come from that bottle. Okay, this is what hit Sakura first. Okay, Monokuma figure was found lying on the rec room floor. It would fit roughly in the palm of your hand. Okay, this is from one of the bottles. There are a number of red bottles on the shelf in the rec room. Inside each bottle is a Monokuma figure. Additionally, there seems to be some kind of unknown correlation between the bottles. I assume it's the pieces. An empty protein drink was found near the rec room door. The container had a label reading Chem A2. Shards of glass from the window that was broken to get into the room were found both around and underneath the container. Okay, so this came from shelf A, and it's on top of glass. So it seems like this were... assuming what I said about the footprints is right, about how they were made after the crime took place, this seems like something that Hina planted. Presumably Hina planted. Because obviously, with this being on top of the glass, this was put here after the window was broken. So, you know. And Hina was the one who went to get everyone else. She technically would be the only one who would have the chance to go and get the bottle beforehand, and then be like, hey guys, come with me, you know? Okay, a fresh handprint was found inside the rec room's open locker. Since the locker was open before they opened the locked room, there's no way someone was hiding in there before they arrived. Okay, so this crosses off one of the chances of one of the locked room mysteries. Hang on, let's change the lighting a little bit again. Make it a bit lighter. There we go. So this, yeah, cancels out one of the options for a locked room mystery, and presumably links Toko to the crime, I think. It could be Hiro, or it could be Hina. Technically, it could be Byakuya, I guess. But right now, it seems like Toko would be, considering that Hiro was definitely in the room and spoke to Sakura. Presumably, he's the one who attacked her. Or he was the first one who attacked her, then Toko or Jill attacked her. Yeah. And Hiro didn't see Toko or Jill. Well, I mean, doesn't seem like he did. And if he did, I don't think Toko would lie about being like, oh, I wasn't there, because it'd be so easily disproved. And Hiro probably would have said something. Yeah, no, because he just said, well, yeah, she told me that you wanted to meet up with those two. If he'd seen Toko, he definitely would have said so. Which is what makes me think Toko is probably the one in here. Sakura had written notes to Toko, Byakuya, Yasuhiro. Okay, yeah, that gives us a reason why Hiro and Toko would be there without them being the killer. Byakuya confirmed that he received Sakura's note, but also claimed that he never went to see her, and in fact he had not seen her at all that day. I mean, that says what it is on the tin, I guess. That's sort of... that... unfortunate though it may be, I guess. That kind of distances Byakuya from the crime. Toko confirmed that she received Sakura's note, but she also claimed that she never went to see her. This seems absolutely bogus. Yeah. A small bit of garbage accidentally fell out of Yasuhiro's pocket. It was a piece of paper with red polka dots on it. Links him to the crime. That's quite simple. Yellow powder found on the instep of Sakura's foot. Okay, this links Sakura to the chem lab, and is really what makes me think she's the one who got the poison in the first place. So it isn't on the sole, it's on the instep. Which makes me think she's the one who knocked over the poison bottle in the first place, and it sprayed a bit on her shoe or whatever. Sakura suffered 2 blows to the head, not 1. Okay, yeah. Pretty simple. But no blood was found on either of her hands. That's important. She did not write the Toko thing. Which means that, you know, again, if I'm narrowing down my story, yeah, either Hina or Hiro were the ones who wrote that, or was the one who wrote that. All the monochrome bottles appear to be roughly the same weight, however the bottle shards were weighed against an intact bottle. Okay, this just proves that Sakura was the thing that... Sakura was hit by 2 Monokuma bottles. There we go. And that's why an extra one is missing, despite the fact that we don't have the queen piece. Okay, on the magazine shelf, one magazine has been put back upside down. Inside this magazine, Toko's name has been written in blood. It is assumed that whoever wrote it used their finger to do so. Yeah, no. This just sort of, for me, just proves that Toko wasn't the killer, you know. Chem lab shelf. On the shelf in the chem lab, section A. Okay, yeah. Bottle of poison has been placed in section A. Yeah, right now I'm only thinking this is a red herring. I don't really have any other ideas about this. There was a broken bottle in front of the chem lab, chem lab shelf, which was labelled Chem C4. According to Byakuya, the powder would have to have been spilled after the incident took place. Well, I don't know about that. There's really no way to prove that. But I'm 100% positive that Sakura was the one who spilled this. Someone left footprints in the lab, left footprints in the powder spilled in the chem lab. These footprints appeared only near the leftmost section of the shelf. Thank God I can stop reading soon. From this, it can be assumed that the suspect only had business in this area. And again, I assume that that's Hina. Yeah, okay. So yeah, I really do not know if it was a suicide or Hina right now. We'll have to see how this trial floats, but at least I've got a clearer thing in my head. Well, no, not really. No, actually I think this might be more vague than last time. Because last time it was like, I could piece together pretty much all the events. You know what this is? This is a lot like Case 2, where I've got like quite a lot of it, but I don't really... Like, I feel like I've got a lot of it, but I don't have the whole thing. Whereas last case, I pretty much got the whole thing except the killer down. And I mean, case 1 was just Leon. When Akuma made his announcement and everyone began to meet up one after another. And then...
The ultimate martial artist! Ooh, a locked room murder mystery, wink.
What?
Oh, I've just recently discovered the power of emoticons. Like, no matter how awful something is, if you toss in a smiley face, it turns positive. For example, you're at a picnic and you find a dead body. Ha!
This is just plain creepy, dude.
Well?
And how about the reverse? No matter how great something is, if you put in a sad face, it makes it look super negative. For example, do you have 100 friends?
Oh, he's right, dude. That does make it seem sad.
I can't wait! I can't wait!
Now then, please get on the elevator. I'll see you all down there.
What are you, fucking, like, oh, what's the name of the dudes who, like, guide the airplanes with the little sticks? What the hell was that? I don't get it, dude.
Just the worst.
I don't get you guys. How can you act so casual after murdering someone?
Don't look at me!
I don't think I'm acting casual, man. I mean, I didn't murder anyone, dude.
Yeah, I'm completely innocent. How dare you call me a murderer?
I mean, Toko, you kind of already are.
Whatever.
Either way, the truth will be revealed soon enough. Because there can be no doubt one of us is the culprit. The killer. The one that murdered Sakura. She was stronger than anyone I know. And yet, someone killed her. And that person is here? That person is one of us? Or it could be her, but it could also be him. I said it before and I'll say it again. It wasn't me, dude. The culprit is one of us. Make no mistake about that.
Hey,
Standing around here isn't going to do any good. Let's get going.
How can you just stand there and say you didn't do it without even breaking a sweat?
Alright, Toko, let's not click on the door. There we go.
Because I didn't do it! How many times do I have to tell you?
Oh, well. That worked out really well. Come on. It's time to put an end to this. I made my way toward the elevator. But with each step I took, I felt like I was moving further and further away from my goal. I could feel a chilling fear running through me, trying to make me rot from the inside out. No matter how many times I go through this, it never gets any easier. We climbed into our steel prison in total silence. We watched the doors close and felt it begin its sinister. Oh, there we go. Felt it begin its sinister descent. Jesus Christ, it's so empty. There's a good chance we're going to lose at least... I mean, we're going to lose at least one more person from this. I mean, if Sakura was the killer, then no one's going to die, but someone's going to die next case, which really... I don't know who's going to die. Because, aside from Hina, I was pretty sure all of these people were going to survive. I don't know, maybe Hiro will die? Like Makoto, Kyoko, Byakuya, and Toko, I'm 99% positive they'll all survive. Hero, I thought might, but I don't know, I guess not. I mean, I'm only going off of like the V3 demo. I guess he didn't have to live. It could just be like a fan servicey thing. Elevator lowered, uttering its all too familiar clunking sounds. And Hina, I don't think she really stands a chance. It fell lower and lower. As suddenly as always, the ride was over. The doors opened once again. What's up with the Egyptian theme?
Just 6 of you, huh? Really?
9 of us have died.
9. That's so few! You must be so lonely.
You say that like it's not your fault we're all that's left.
I wonder, will this class trial end with one less classmate again? Or will your school life come to an end completely?
Now then.
Are we ready to begin? You know the drill! Find your assigned seats.
And so the curtain opened for the 4th time. A deadly judgment, a deadly deception, a deadly betrayal. A deadly riddle, a deadly defense, a deadly faith. A deadly class trial. Oh yeah, baby! That's actually an alright time for an episode too. Nearly 40 minutes. So guys, in the next one, we're going to start this trial, and I'm interested to see where it's actually going to end up going, because I'm not sure yet. Whatever the case is, I think it's going to hurt. I think it's going to hurt, this one. Especially if it was a suicide. Like, I think that's gonna really hurt when we figure that out. But, yeah. It's the end of the episode, then. Yeah. That's it. Bada bing, bada bam. See you guys in the next one.